type scenario. It wasn't a consensual till it wasn't scenario. She was kidnapped. And I don't understand why y'all like to demonize black women to a point where a 19-year-old can get kidnapped and murdered and raped, and y'all first accusation is she must be selling it. That don't make no sense to me. And I really don't understand how y'all came to that conclusion. The only reason y'all thought that she was selling it was because y'all saw her go up to the driver's side and walk around and come into the passenger side. Like, critical thinking. Critical thinking.
Why the she leave her stuff if she knew that she was going with this man to be a prostitute? And you know, even if that wasn't the situation, that's not y'all business to speak on. All y'all keep trying to be funny and do this and do that. First of all, y'all don't know her family. Y'all need to let her fucking family grieve. It's been enough already.
Da'Cara Thompson's story is one that grips you from the very first moment. 19 years old, full of dreams, with her whole life ahead of her, and then, in the blink of an eye, she's gone. Found dead along Route 50 in Maryland, after last being seen stepping into a black SUV. The man behind the wheel? Hugo Hernandez-Mendez. And today, as the courtroom doors open and rumors spread across social media, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. This case is more than just headlines. It's a fight for her dignity, her story, and her justice. Before I dive deep, quick shout out, this is CrimeLab Report. If you're into true crime breakdowns that cut through the noise, don't forget to subscribe, and click that bell icon so you never miss when we drop something new. Now, let's talk about Da'Cara. When someone so young becomes a victim of violence, the first thing the internet often does is turn the tragedy into gossip. And that's exactly what happened here. Da'Cara's name was dragged into messy, unfounded claims. Some people went so far as to suggest she was selling her body. But let me stop here and be clear. There is zero evidence to support that. None. Not from police, not from investigators, not from anyone who actually knew her. It's a cruel narrative, pushed by strangers online who never met her, never spoke to her, and never saw the bright, determined girl her friends and family knew. Her best friend came forward in that now viral video, and her words were powerful. She looked straight into the camera and said, "Enough with the lies. Da'Cara wasn't what people are trying to paint her as. She was my friend, a real person with real struggles and real dreams." She called out the comments as disrespectful, as something no grieving family should have to hear while fighting for justice. You could hear the pain in her voice.
Hey y'all, I kind of just wanted to speak on the Da'Cara situation because I don't like how y'all moving about it. So me and Da'Cara kind of known each other since I was little, and her father, real life, used to take us skating every weekend. He used to take us to different places and shit. I used to go over his house, all type of stuff. Like, my mom, her father, and her mom went to school together, so y'all already know how that would go. But that's not the point. The point is that I seen a lot of y'all in the comments talking about question the father. The father look like he knows something. Da 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 da. One thing that I can say about Da'Cara father, Puda never played about them girls. Puda never played about them girls. So for all y'all that was in the comments like that, y'all need to shut the up because y'all don't know nothing. And y'all don't know him. Y'all don't know her. Y'all don't know nothing. For all y'all keep trying to make them funny ass jokes talking about, yeah, she was selling cat and da da da. Y'all don't know the background story of what the happened. The only people that's gonna really know the story is the nigga that did it and God. He is never gonna come out and tell y'all the full fucking story. And if y'all think that y'all dumb as a bitch, the story would never be out. A mother would never know what really transpired. Just because the roommates say that, yeah, they heard some sex going on. First of all, if y'all was really using y'all brains, as y'all heard her father say, when they found the car, it was parked the wrong way for one, and she left all her stuff in it. Meaning, she knew she was coming back to the car. Because if I'm about to take over a minute out of my car, I'm not leaving my wallet. I'm not leaving none of that. She knew she was coming back to the car. Why the would she leave her stuff if she knew that she was going with this man to be a prostitute? And you know, even if that wasn't the situation, that's not y'all business to speak on. All y'all keep trying to be funny and do this and do that. First of all, y'all don't know her family. Y'all need to let her family grieve. It's been enough already. And it just came out that she's been deceased. So let her family grieve. Like, let them process what the going on. Y'all making y'all own narrative of the story and don't even know really what the happened. Y'all cannot do that. All y'all talking about, yeah, because it was y'all instincts and shut the up. Don't nobody give a about your fucking instinct. But you don't even know what happened for real. I don't like that for y'all. I really don't. So stop with the y'all doing. Relax.
She had to watch the internet pile on cruelty. Then there's Da'Cara's mother, Carmen Thompson. In an emotional interview, she begged the public to stop feeding into the noise. She said, "Please don't believe everything you hear. Out of respect for the family and for us grieving, please approach everything with grace."
Who's your name, please?
Carmen Thompson.
Carmen Thompson?
Yes.
And you are a...
I'm the mother of Da'Cara Thompson.
What were your thoughts in being at the hearing today? And our hearts go out to you for your loss, first off. What do you want to say now that this justice process is moving forward?
I would like to thank the PG County State's Attorney's Office for the great service that they've been providing. I just want justice served for my daughter.
How are you guys doing? How's the family doing right now?
Is, as good as a family could be under these circumstances, so not so good. We're trying to maintain.
Tell us a little bit about your daughter. She was 19, just getting started, a young lady out of high school. Tell
Yes,
us about her, please.
my daughter, she had just turned 19 years old prior to this unfortunate circumstance. She was working under Westmore's Maryland Year Service Corps option, whatever it's called, program. She had just completed a year-long internship in which she was very successful. She did a great job. She was a kind of an outgoing, soft-spoken, kind young lady. She was a free spirit. She was a good girl. She was a good kid. So there's been a lot of people disparaging her character on social media and things as such. Please don't believe everything you see. Don't believe everything you hear. Out of respect for the family and us grieving, please, approach everything with grace. We would appreciate that.
Carmen,
Ma'am, do you have any thoughts about this notion that this guy was arrested by Park Police and released back in April?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
This man, Mr. Hernandez-Mendez,
Yes.
was arrested by the United States Park Police for drunk driving in April 25th on the BW Parkway. He was subsequently released. There was no check of his immigration status or anything like that. There were no warrants at the time, no detainers. But he was in federal custody. And then he was released, and he is in the country without
Right.
documentation, and now they've filed.
I'm very disappointed, finding that out now, because we may not be here today if they did what they were supposed to do.
Is there any indication that the victim may have known this person or crossed paths with him ever in her life?
Let me again say that I just want to be clear, and out of respect for the family as well, any questions regarding the nature of the investigation would be harmful to our investigation at this particular point. So I want to make sure that we don't delve into any of that information. I will say you asked a question earlier. As always, there'll be an autopsy that's performed as a part of the investigation.
Last questions, Katie. Carmen, and then a follow-up from Madam State's Attorney. The family often has a long journey after a crime like this happens.
Yes.
The trauma as the case moves forward and the victims have to outlive the crime itself. Is the family prepared for what's about to happen in the coming months? The grueling work of retelling the story, working with investigators, everything that's to come.
That's a tough question. That's a tough question because we know it's going to be extremely hard. We just ask that everybody pray for our strength through the process.
That plea wasn't just about rumors. It was about humanity. Imagine losing your child and then logging online only to see strangers spinning false stories about her life. Carmen wanted people to see Da'Cara not as a headline or a meme, but as a daughter whose absence leaves an unbearable void. And this is where the emotion hits. Behind the rumors, behind the court hearings, was a young woman who should still be here. Da'Cara was last seen alive on August 23rd. climbing into Hernandez-Mendez SUV. Surveillance shows she went willingly, trusting, maybe unaware of the danger. Days later, her body was discovered with signs of a violent assault. That gap, those lost days, is what haunts her family and drives investigators to dig deeper. But here's where the tension builds, because as facts emerge, so does the backlash. When rumors spread faster than official reports, people start to believe lies. And that's what makes cases like this so painful. You don't just lose a person, you fight to keep their name clean in a world that thrives on scandal. When Hugo Hernandez-Mendez walked into court on September 8th, everyone wanted answers. Would he get bond? Would the court allow him back into the community while a trial was pending? The judge was clear, no bond. He was ordered held in custody. And that decision wasn't just legal formality. It was a reflection of how serious the charges are. First and second-degree murder. This wasn't a minor case. This was a 19-year-old's life taken, and the justice system knew it had to treat it with weight. But outside the courtroom, the louder battle was online. Social media had become its own trial, and Da'Cara's reputation was on the stand. People were quick to throw around accusations that had no evidence, claiming she was involved in sex work or putting herself in dangerous situations.
The more I keep seeing about Da'Cara Thompson, the more I want to speak on it, because I really don't understand where y'all come to these conclusions. I don't know who started the narrative that she was selling her body. I don't know, that is not, where did y'all even get that from? I remember talking to a crazy man the other day, actually. We're going to get into that one day eventually, but crazy. And he going in, yeah, no, she was selling this, she was doing this, she was selling her body. I don't understand how y'all even got to that conclusion, right? You look at the evidence the police put out. Yes, she got into the car willingly, but you see her go to the driver's side, right? And then go around to the passenger. Keep that in mind, right? 2, she left her car parked on the wrong side of the street. 3, she left her car on, hazard lights on. She left her phone, her wallet, her keys, everything inside her car. There was no indication that she was planning on going somewhere else. It looked like she was just hopping out to the car and supposed to hop back into her car and move the fuck on. This might just be a theory, but I think what happened was she went out to buy some weed or something like that, and she woke up to the car ready to get her stuff. Nigga pulls out a gun or some shit and is like, go to the other side of the car. That's the only logical thing that makes sense to me. And I remember when hearing the story, that's the first place my mind went to. My mind never went to, and I mean never went to, oh, she's selling her body, she's this, she's that. I don't understand how y'all do that so quickly to black women. She was a 19-year-old girl. Two-parent house. I don't understand what made y'all think that. Because she's a black girl? Because she's a black girl, it has to be it can't just be. And the thing is, y'all keep pushing this narrative so that they're not going to treat it as a kidnapping and homicide. It was a kidnapping and homicide. She was kidnapped and then killed and murdered. It wasn't no gone wrong type scenario. It wasn't a consensual till it wasn't scenario. She was kidnapped. And I don't understand why y'all like to demonize black women to a point where a 19-year-old can get kidnapped and murdered and raped, and y'all first accusation is she must be selling it. That don't make no sense to me. And I really don't understand how y'all came to that conclusion. The only reason y'all thought that she was selling it was because y'all saw her go up to the driver's side and walk around and come into the passenger side. Critical thinking. Critical thinking. She left her car on. She left her car on. She left her hazard lights on. She left her phone, her purse, her everything in that car. She had no intentions of going into that vehicle and driving off. But something happened. So when she walked up to that car, something happened that made her come around to the end. And I think the only logical thing is that nigga had a gun and was like, get in the car. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. So yeah, y'all, it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. Y'all need to stop pushing these narratives that are so baseless, baseless. It makes no sense. Where are y'all getting that? And on top of that, before they even found the killer, y'all niggas was the same niggas accusing her father of doing some shit to her. These are real life people that y'all just create these twisted ass narratives for and then run with. And then you run with it and then you try to ignore and erase the entire story. This whole Da'Cara Thompson story, I swear to y'all, is gonna get swept under the rug and looked over as a prostitution. Not a fucking kidnapping. Not the fact that there's a serial killer running loose, running rampant in the Maryland, Hyattsville, DMV area. But the cops, they don't want to talk about that. No one wants to talk about that. Y'all just want to talk about how a 19-year-old black woman has to be a prostitute and can't get taken advantage of. That goes back to that thing that y'all like to say, or not y'all, but way back when they said black women can't feel pain, and that's why the father of gynecologists was doing all his experiments and all this stuff on the enslaved black women that he had, because he thought black women can't feel pain because they treat us with a different type of, like, I don't know, skill. That's the same thing that y'all are doing to Da'Cara. Y'all making it like there's no possible way that this was involuntary. There's no possible way that she wasn't selling it. What do you mean a black woman isn't selling it on the streets? Like, what are y'all? She's a 19-year-old girl. Like, where did y'all even get that narrative from? It makes no sense. This man wasn't even.
This is where we have to stop and think. Why do people create narratives like this after a victim is gone? Why is it easier to assume something negative instead of listening to those who actually knew her? Her friend said it best in that video. She was more than a rumor. She had dreams. She had goals. She had people who loved her. That's who Da'Cara was. And that's the story that matters. Her mother echoed the same, telling reporters that the family deserves respect, not judgment. This is where the truth lies. In the words of those who lived alongside her, not an anonymous comment scrolling by on a screen. The twist here isn't about the crime itself. We know what happened, and we know who is standing trial. The twist is about the narrative, because what this case reveals isn't just the violence she suffered. It's how quickly a victim can be stripped of dignity in the digital age. That's something we all need to wrestle with. If we let rumors take control, we bury the truth right alongside the person who's already gone. And as the case heads toward its next hearing on October 8th.
Last week, the Prince George's County Police Department arrested Mr. Hernandez-Mendez and charged him with the murder of 19-year-old Da'Cara Thompson. He was presented before the commissioner, and he was held without bond at that time, pending a bail hearing. Earlier today, Mr. Hernandez-Mendez appeared before a judge for a bond review hearing. B1. And he was again held without bond, and he will continue to be held without bond. I know that the public has been following this case closely, and there are a lot of questions and concerns about the circumstances surrounding Ms. Thompson's death and, frankly, the immigration status of the defendant. I want to emphasize first that this remains an active investigation, and I am therefore extremely limited in any information that I can provide today. But I'll say this. The goal of this office is to achieve justice for Da'Cara Thompson and for her family. And that goal requires that my office have the ability to fully investigate and to thoroughly review any and all evidence in this case in order to make a determination regarding the appropriate charges for indictment. In addition, this office's primary concern is not the legal status of the defendant, or frankly of any other defendant. My concern is to hold accountable people who commit crimes against the residents of Prince George's County. My job is to hold accountable anyone who commits a crime in Prince George's County against, again, our residents. At this point, there is not much more than I can say other than, as the state's attorney, it is my job to ensure that the process is fair, that it is transparent and in full accordance with the law. And we will remain steadfast in our commitment to achieving justice. Thank you.
Are there any other suspects that you're looking at? Any other people possibly involved in this?
Again, this case is under investigation, and so I cannot further comment as to the nature of any other suspects or any part of the investigation.
Last week, much was revealed at the police press conference. You feel you have a strong case? Can you say that?
Again, there were charges. The commissioner's office found probable cause. The judge has now held this defendant without bond. But as to the strength of the case, I can't comment on that at this particular point.
Jasmine?
Attorney, are you able to share what's next in indictment or in terms of the legal process?
In terms of what's next, our office again has to thoroughly review not only the charges that were lodged against the defendant, but the evidence that the police have collected in this case and continue to investigate where necessary, along with all of our law enforcement partners. And we'll make a determination in short order as to the appropriateness of any charges and what those charges will be. And then we would present to the grand jury for indictment.
Has there been a cause and manner of death determined at this point, and is there anything holding that up, as far as that process?
At this point, I can't speak to that, but we will. I can't speak to anything else that was not revealed within the statement of charges.
Coming into the county, have you seen any change recently given the surge in the district, just across the border in Maryland, or anything that has been different after the national troops have been in the district?
All I'll say to that is that we continue to work with our law enforcement partners, both in Prince George's County and in the district, to make sure that that we're protecting the residents of this county. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
The question isn't just whether Hugo Hernandez-Mendez will be found guilty. The question is whether the public will allow Da'Cara Thompson to be remembered for who she was, not for lies that strangers invented after her death. So let me put this to you. When you hear a rumor online, do you ever stop to ask where it came from? Do you think about the family reading those words in real time? And here's the deeper one. Why do we, as people, sometimes look for flaws in victims instead of demanding accountability from the accused? This is where we leave it tonight. Da'Cara's case is ongoing. Her story is still being written, not just in the courtroom, but in how we choose to remember her. If you believe her name deserves respect and justice, then join this discussion. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this video so the truth drowns out the noise. And don't forget to subscribe to CrimeLab Report, hit that like button, and click the bell icon so you're here with us as we follow this story all the way through. Justice is a journey, and you're part of it.